Hi everyone, video number 3. This is going to be a shorter one. I haven't managed to film a longer one this weekend. We've been too busy painting and doing other bits and pieces. But this one's going to focus on that breathwork again and a couple of balancing exercises, and then I will also film a series on the floor too. So yeah, eventually I'll get there putting together a longer video for everybody to follow. But to start with, we're going to just practice that breath work again that I had in the first video. We use it all through the exercises. This time though, instead of having our hands up around our rib cage, we're going to keep our hands down either side of our body. I want you to have your feet about hip width distance apart, take the weight back in the heels, and posture wise you're wanting to put that scoop in the lower back, gently lift through the back of the head but not drop that chin right down. So it's just about putting yourself in alignment, draw those shoulders back and try and sit them down. Okay, so we're going to do the sit breath in and then we'll do that breath out. When you're ready, we're sipping sit breath in, and then we squeeze the hands, tighten the shoulders, squeeze the glutes and then release. When you release, keep the length in that midsection. Sit breath in, squeeze and release, and again sit breath in, squeeze and release, and again sit breath in, squeeze and release. Sorry, I've got a fly annoying me. Sit breath in, squeeze, squeeze the shoulder blades and release, and again sit breath in, squeeze and release. Last one, sit breath in, squeeze and release. So with the sit breath, you're really wanting to get that diaphragm moving in and out. There's two alright, just open the window and try and get rid of that fly. There's two groups of muscles that support the diaphragm. One's internal and one is external to the diaphragm, and as you breathe in, one set of muscles helps the ribcage open, squeeze and hold, and then the other set as you breathe out draws that ribcage in again. While you're doing this, you want to be careful your shoulders don't go up and down, but also that you don't collapse into the midsection. You want to keep yourself nice and tall. Noisy house. Okay, we're going to do a balancing exercise, and this is similar to the one that we also did the other day. So you've got two choices, I guess. You could do what we did the other day, which is sit breath in, bend through the knees, take the arms back, squeeze the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades together and then release. So that's the first option. If you want to work on your balance, the second option is taking that leg back behind us. So sit breath in, bend through that front knee, straighten that back one, point the toe and then release. And again sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. 4 on each side. Sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. Last one on this side. Sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. And we're going to do the other side. Sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. And again, sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. And again, sit breath in, point the toe, squeeze and release. You might cotton onto the fact I lose count sometimes, not focusing on what I'm doing. So if I've lost count, yeah, just if you know that you've done 4, that's all good. Just stop when you've finished. Okay. We are going to do that stretch down either side of the body again, and then we're going to do tree pose. So take the weight back on your feet, drop that hand behind the head, grab around the elbow, and
going to sit breath in, resist by trying to take that arm away, and then release, go deeper. Deeper with the stretch, so I don't want you to drop down, I want you to lift up. And again, sit breath in, squeeze, resist, and release. And again, sit breath in, squeeze, resist, and release. Last one, sit breath in, squeeze, resist, and release. Swapping sides, sit breath in, squeeze, resist, and release. And again, sit breath in, resist, release. Two more. Get the weight back in the heels, sit breath in, resist, and release. Last one. Sit breath in, resist, and release. So when you're doing this, try and keep your gaze level. It just helps keep that airway open. Okay, tree pose. So tree pose, you can choose where you place your foot. You've got two options really. One is below the knee and the other is tucking it up on the inside of the thigh. If you are a yogi that's been practicing for a while, you can place your foot up in the groin, but if you do that, you want to be careful you're not jutting your bum back to keep it there, and you want to be able to release your hands down either side as well and still have a good strong posture. So it makes no difference where your foot is. A trick with your balance is to push your big toe into the floor. That just helps stabilise you sometimes. So choose where suits you best, I guess. I always encourage people, if you've been here for quite a while, maybe try moving that foot up here. But the important thing is don't have it on the knee, which feels like the most natural place to put it. You don't want it there. So whichever suits you. I'm going to have my leg down on below my knee for this series. So when you're ready, we take those hands nice and wide out to the side. Again, we drop the shoulder back and sit breath in. Squeeze the glutes as well, and release. And again, sit breath in. Squeeze and release. Okay, bring the palms out, center of chest, namaste, sit breath in. Push the palms together. Engage the muscles down the back of the arms, back down the lats, and release. And again, sit breath in. Push the palms together, and release. Okay, bring those hands. Optional, you can bring them overhead or you can leave them where they were. Sit breath in. And again, push the palms together, engage those muscles, and release. One more, sit breath in. Push. And release. Okay, optional too. Take those hands nice and wide. Sit breath in. Squeeze. Release. And again, sit breath in. Squeeze. And release. Bring the palms back together. Namaste. And release down. Switching sides. So you might find your balance is better on one side than the other. Place your foot where it is best positioned for you. Allow that knee just to rotate. You don't want it to rotate all the way out so that you create a twist in your torso though. You want to keep those hips moving forward. And again, we're going to take, bloody flying, we're going to take our hands down either side of the body. Sit breath in, squeeze, and release. But we're already going to suck that fly in, so I need to get rid of it. I wouldn't be any good on an official pay-as-you-go video yoga series. Sit breath in, squeeze the glutes as well, and release. And bring the palms up, center of chest, namaste, sit breath in. Push the palms together, and release. When you push them together, you should feel the muscles activating potentially down either side of the diaphragm there. And again, sit breath in, push the palms together, and release. And again, optional, Bring the palms overhead, sit, breathe in. And release. And again, sit, breathe in. And release. And open wide into tree, sit, breathe in. Squeeze. And release. And again, sit, breathe in. Squeeze. And release. Drop the shoulders down. Take a couple of breaths in. Breathe out. Now I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do against a wall, which is about posture. So pretend I'm standing against a wall. My heels aren't quite touching the wall, but my shoulders, the back of my head, and my hands, the back of my hands are touching the wall. Hopefully you can see me from that distance away. And we're going to do the sit, breathe in again here. Sit, breathe in. Squeeze the glutes, and then release. Lift the back of the head up. Sit, breathe in. Squeeze, push those hands against the surface, and release. So your shoulders are back against the wall, your glutes are against the wall, not quite your heels. Sit, breathe in. Squeeze and release. One more, sit, breathe in. Squeeze and release. And when you walk away from the wall, hopefully you will feel your shoulders back, putting back, push back into place. So that's a standing series, that's just over 10 minutes, and I will do a floor series soon. Thanks guys.